Good morning. Welcome to Joy News. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokom. Namely, we're on DTT because we're free to air on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 125. Coming up this morning, Education Minister arrives in Cape Coast on a fact-finding mission following violent incident in which a student is seen in a viral video overpowering and strangulating another student before hitting his head against a metal bed frame at Adisado College. We are live there for you. Meanwhile, Joy News is learning the student seen choking his mate has already been arrested by the police following a directive by the Attorney General. We'll bring you that update in this bulletin. Plus, NPP dismisses claims of favoritism within the party ahead of its presidential primaries. We have details. Plus, NPP dismisses claims of favoritism within the party ahead of its presidential primaries. We have details. In a dormitory at Adisado College, Dr. Seiduchum is currently locked up in a meeting with authorities of the school. Details of that shortly. But our correspondent, Semefa Rejoice Kwesu, is also with that team. She will join us shortly. But yesterday, Deputy Education Minister Reverend John Ntimfodjo directed management of the school to submit the report of the investigation team set up to look into the bullying case in the school to the ministry today. The directive is a revised timeline for the investigation team, which was initially expected to go into the issue and submit a report in 2 weeks. The Deputy Minister further tasked the school authorities to immediately start a psycho-support system for all final year students as they prepare to sit the West African Senior School Certificate examination. Let's take you live now to the Adisado College. For more on that, correspondent Semefa joins us. Let's start from the minister himself, who we are told is in the school this morning. What has he been saying? Hello, Semefa. Right, we'll try and get Semefa, but also on the other line is Kofi Asari. Kofi, the students, I believe, will be going through a lot of psychological trauma as we speak, especially for a final year student. What can you tell us about the student?
Well, good morning. Morning to your church audience. I think that the feeling in the school will not be the same as the feeling outside. This is an issue that happened quite some time ago, and even the students involved, who was the victim, actually tried to conceal it. I'm sure the shock, the aura of the issue still hanging is about how it happened, and not much about the effect on the students, as I'm saying, because the student who was a victim was even able to hide it from the school authorities, for some time. And so I think it might not be that impactful as we think it will be on the examination. But for the victim, for the culprit, yes, because he is receiving, all the bashing. He is at fault, allegedly, and so it will have some effect on him. I'm not too sure, but at that age, I think he should be an amateur. But if he's less than 18, if he's more than 18, then he's aware that, or 18 or more, then he's aware of criminal ramifications, especially when the AG I read in the dailies has indicated that he's going to take up the matter. So on that side, yes, I see much of stress and worry on the boy who is writing examination.
Kofi, how should this matter be handled to ensure this effect on the students is minimized?
Well, I think the public discourse on the matter will not help the students, except that I think that the students should not have access or reasonable access to the media so that they won't be distracted. So the public discourse, one, will not help them, and so we should try as much as possible to disconnect them from the media, social media, etc., so that they can concentrate. Second is that by now, I expect that the GAS will have triggered its guidance and counseling systems at the regional level so that the necessary guidance provided to both the victim and the culprit. It's not likely the culprit will write the examination from the school. Of course, he's a candidate, so he writes it from million for X and sentence, which is justified. But I think that the counseling they need should be provided same. And I'll be surprised if it hasn't been done by now because GS has the necessary mechanisms to do just that. But let me indicate that I would have wished that the minister, I don't know whether it's the minister or the deputy minister who is visiting. At the point you said the minister. Is it the deputy minister or the minister?
Yes, it's the minister who is in the school.
Yeah, I would have wished it is great that the minister has gone to the school to have first-hand information about this near fatal incident. It has reached a national level of attention because even the AG's office is involved. And so I understand why the minister should be in the school. But I would have also wished that when 9 students drowned on their way from school, in Fana, in Wojagbawi, the minister would have visited those communities and those schools. Because nine students drowned, they lost their lives. It was fatal, and they were only accessing education because they didn't have schools in their island communities. In Wojagbawi, right here, and we didn't see the minister go there. We actually wished and called for him to go there, but he didn't go there. And so I'm happy the minister has visited the school because of the risk visited on one student in a senior high school. It shows concern for what happened there. It shows concern for discipline. It shows concern for the life of children, and it shows concern for the administration of the administration of discipline in the school. And in the same way, we expect the minister to show similar concerns when even more fatal occurrences, take place in public basic schools, so that we get assurance that the ministry cares equally for basic school pupils, just the same as he does for senior high school pupils.
Professor, I'll have you hold because we have an update from the investigation from the Attorney General's office. My colleague Kojo Yankson joins me with that update. Kojo, what do we know from the AG's office? Kojo, kindly unmute for me. Right, Kojo Yankson will bring us. Great, you're on now, Kojo.
Excellent. So the student who was seen in the video to be holding another student in a chokehold and then banging his head on the bed has been arrested today. He has been arrested and cautioned on the charges of causing harm and assault. He was then released into the custody of the headmaster of Addis Ababa College, who is to produce the student for the police on Friday. Now, this is the information that is coming from the regional office of the Attorney General. And so tomorrow, Friday, he will be arraigned before court on these two charges of causing harm and assault, Aisha.
Well, Kojo Yankson, with that update from the AG's office, let's go to Cape Coast and speak with Semefa, who is monitoring the minister's visit for us. Semefa, tell us about the minister.
Court on these two charges of causing harm and assault, Aisha.
Well, Kojo Yankson, with that update from the AG's office, let's go to Cape Coast and speak with Semefa, who is monitoring the minister's visit for us. Semefa, tell us about the minister's visit.
Right, Bennett. So this morning, it's not the minister, it's the Deputy Minister of Education, Honorable John Itin Kojo, who is Bennett. So this morning, it's not the minister, it's the Deputy Minister of Education, Honorable John Itin Kojo, who gave us the media an update on the case. So we met the students earlier, the victim, the culprits, the witnesses, what might have gone down with them. But looking through their faces, we could see that they are somehow concerned and unhappy about the development or being in the news for these few days.
We know that the WASI exams has started today. We also know earlier that the Deputy Education Minister directed that the students be given some psychological support to help them in their preparation for the exams. How is that going, Semefa?
Right, so like I said earlier, they are meeting, they've met with the Metro and then the regional counselors who are taking them through psychological evaluation to actually aid in any traumatic experience they might have had. And we also have some other, the parents and the other teachers helping them and preparing.
Right, Semefa is the one following up on this for us. At the Adisado College, you heard her report that the Deputy Minister Tim Fojo is meeting with the students. Mr. Kofi Asari, we know that the student involved has already been arrested and released to the Attorney General's office. We heard my colleague bringing us updates on that arrest. But generally, how should he also be treated to minimize the psychological trauma, because we know that he has been the one in the media that everybody has been lambasting?
Well, he should be accorded all the rights and privileges that an accused person deserves. He for now, he's only a suspect, and there's reasonable suspicion that he could be a juvenile. I don't know, but. He should be accorded all the rights and privileges that a suspect deserves until proven guilty by a competent court of jurisdiction. Let me indicate that, again, we shouldn't have been here, you understand. If we had clearly laid down case management procedures in our schools, we wouldn't take the Ministry of Education, we wouldn't take the GAS Director General or the General Secretaries to issue instructions to the senior high school head in Adisado to report an obvious case of an assault, which is criminal, to the police. But the fact that a school head has an administrative issue or try and solve it at the school level through school level disciplinary matters, is why we are here, because this case should have been reported to the police on Monday. And so, as we have emphasized, our school heads need training. They need manuals in case management of school-based violence, so that when it occurs, they are not uncertain about what path to take. They should be trained in how to immediately decipher or differentiate between civil misconduct in school and criminal conduct, so that when they occur, they don't waste time, in responding to the issue. You don't waste time in taking the victim to the hospital. You don't waste time in informing the parents of both victim and culprit. You don't waste time in informing the police if it's a clear case of an assault or battery. And you don't waste time in instituting your internal investigative processes, in addition to the criminal one. So what belongs to the police, we must always bring them in as quick as possible so that they deal with the issue. Then you deal with the health issues, the psychology issues, and then you inform the parents. These must be documented in a case management manual for school-based violence, which schools need. Our senior high schools need them so badly so that they know how to manage things, because we shouldn't be here. We shouldn't take national agencies to instruct the headmaster of Adisado to report this case to the Cape Coast Police by Monday. It should have been done long ago.
Director of Africa Education Watch, and he says such matters must be dealt with the urgency it deserves, not to escalate or to be able to minimize the psychological effects. Now, a 16-year-old girl is enduring lots of psychological trauma as a result of persistent sexual harassment from the auntie's husband. Breaking her silence to Joy Prime on the issue, Mausi, as we chose to call her, says even though she has reported the phenomenon to her auntie, nothing has changed. Mausi fears of succumbing to her uncle's pressure because the future of her education is at stake since he is her only support. Joy Prime's Emmanuel Jivenu has more in the following piece.
When we are all asleep, in the room. Then he comes to where I'm sleeping. When he sees that I'm asleep, then he tries to use that advantage to sleep with me. But I wake up, so I don't allow him. At times too, when no one is in the house, then it's only the two of us. Then he told me that I should allow him to do one. He won't tell anybody about it.
This is the distressing story of 16-year-old Maushi, not her real name. She has been forced to endure this abuse on countless occasions. This nightmare began when she lost her mother at a tender age. Maushi assumed she would be loved and cared for, but she's had to endure chains and strings of sexual harassment and unsolicited touches from her auntie's husband. The place she hoped would be a safe haven for her is now a place of torment.
At times he tries to sleep with me, but if I don't allow him, then he changes mood towards me. He gives me money that I should allow him to sleep with me. If I don't, then he takes back the money from me.
Reporting sexual harassment can be a difficult decision, especially for minors. The fear of being victimized and stigmatized by society forces many young girls to recoil. Accusing her auntie's husband of harassment was difficult, but she gathered a lot of strength and confronted the issue. Sadly, her auntie did not take her disclosure seriously.
The first time we started, I told my auntie, but she didn't believe me. She thought I was telling lies because I was a small girl. And she was always saying that just a small girl like me, I don't know anything, so I shouldn't be saying that.
The harassment persisted after she reported to her auntie, and eventually her auntie witnessed the truth.
The last day, okay. It's Miss me the minute to film. Shade.
Okay, then.
So, Papa and Person Neda. And the minute to film me who sign be say, or Peso, or yes, maybe son, I will say, or now, like a toy baby behind it. No one in the shade. Son of Papa Catherine. I am not Peso Ben Aqualam. Or Peso Ben Saparanada, tell of Peso Ben. Timothy, Namusa say, Edena, Okoya Wakolano, or so, or in the shade.
In fact, what made her believe Maushi's story was that her own sister, who once lived with them, also complained of similar sexual advances from her husband.
This is Obetramen chain. Obetramen chain. Obetramen chain be 1 year. No, honestly, I no complaint. Such a say, Papa person need be. Nankasa, tell me anything, Nankasano. I said, me need baby, yea, person me man and person me baby dinner, the Nanka must fit my finishing. I say, Sanya mana or yen. A Musunia mana say, yeah, and yes, and I'm in a bar by one so. I said all day, you bet me did. Yet, no, never.
People who commit sexual abuses often target vulnerable individuals due to poverty, age, gender, or disability. Poverty is among the root causes of sexual harassment and makes it difficult for victims to report it.
I told my grandmother, then my mother's 2 sisters, they are 4. So all of, in fact, the family members, my mom's side, they all know about it.
What did you tell them?
I told them what the man has been doing to me in the house, and as for my grandma, I told her that the man tries to sleep with me anytime there's no one in the house or we are asleep.
As me as my report, it's a minimum so I didn't mammy. Colana Mena a woman. Yeah, Nasa, your own Okoba. Now, when you be Mancolan to school. Until Anna mean to me. Intimate Pesse, a quality school more, and the Ufimin Chaya. Nasa, Bibia, I am.
Sexual harassment can have a significant and long-lasting impact on victims' mental and physical health. Maushi is traumatized by the harassment, and the painful experiences are robbing her of a happy childhood.
Whenever he comes home, they will be insulting me. Even if I've not done anything, they'll be insulting me. They will be telling me that I'm a witch. I came to their family to destroy the family. They used to be saying that when I finish BC, I should pack my things and get out from the house. When he's around, I'm not comfortable. So anytime he's in the house, I get out from the house.
When do you go?
Either to my friend's house or I'll be working in the area, just like that. It's even affecting my studies because at times when I go to school, that's the only thing I'm thinking about.
Maushi is in her final year. In a matter of weeks, the 16-year-old would be sitting for the Basic Education Certificate Examination, BECE. It is a life-defining test in keeping her dream of becoming a nurse aloft. But that dream is ebbing away by the day.
I'm in Form 3, and it's every 2 weeks for us to go write BEC. But I don't know how I'm going to prepare for the BEC.
Why?
Because I'm owing school fees and registration fee. And the equipment for me to write the BEC, I don't even have one. When I add the school fees and the registration fee together, I'm owing $470.
Unfortunately, her auntie's business has collapsed, making it difficult to foot her niece's school bills.
My auntie takes care of me, but she can't provide the financial needs for me.
What about the husband?
As for him, doesn't take care of me, he takes care of his children because he says I'm not part of his children.
Kind of 4.7. I'm yes, and you go so scared and Mr. Misaka. I could chance and I'm much I say, Yapamon. I say, come within you have so much chance and I'm with school. It's Minya Sky. I say, maybe you must say, I'm a tomato snare. I'm going to be an albummaker. Jamama too. Tiama Missy me.
Maushi is constantly sacked for BEC registration and school fees of 470 Ghana cedis. She's living with anxiety due to the uncertainty of her future. Despite the adversities thrown at her, Maushi is determined to succeed in her academic pursuit.
Monday I went to school, they sacked me. Tuesday to I went, they sacked me. Then today to I went. I want to go because it's every some few weeks for us to go write BC. And my teacher told me that the rest of the week we are going to use to solve past questions. So I want to be there so that I'll know the part of questions they are answering. That's how I've been going to school.
Well, with the academic performance, excellence, she's very good. In fact, all the subjects. Yeah, she doesn't have a favorite subject like that, but she's good in all the subjects. In terms of expression and stuff, she's very okay. It's all about financially. Sometimes when she comes to school, she doesn't have money for feeding, sometimes not even pocket money. When she comes to school, sometimes she feels so down, but she's someone that she knows what she's going for. So anytime you see her, she's learning. Anytime you see her, she's learning. Even though she'll be in a sad mood, but she forced to do something for herself.
Well, we have a big conversation coming up on this matter because I've been joined in the studio by Godfrey Ebo Ahin, his public education and focal person at the Greater Accra branch of Shraj. But before then, let me take you back to Adisado College in Cape Coast, where Deputy Education Minister Tim Fojo is currently addressing the students.
All our the story of our system. I'll speak with them, the current system of never have pages what are in the that is good one. I'll hold us up. That is what we're excited.
We'll try and get a clearer audio for you and take you back to Adisado College for more on what the Deputy Education Minister is telling the students. But in the studio here with me is Godfrey Ebo Ahin, who is with the Public Education and Focal, and he's a focal person at the Greater Accra branch of Suraj. Grateful that you could join me. Has this issue of this young girl who's being sexually harassed by her auntie's husband come to your notice?
Not that we know of at the moment. But we were invited by the journalists who carried out the exercise to speak to the issue this morning. But officially, a complaint of this nature has not been lodged with the commission.
How does this come across to you? You've watched excerpts and listened to this young girl talking about her frustrations and how she intends to make it at the coming BC. Also the fact that that's the only person who supports her in her education, and she finds herself in a dilemma.
Yes, it's a pathetic story, and it's not an isolated situation. It's a daily occurrence in our nation now, and it's a reflection of how our society has become. Now, the social support that used to be provided for persons who are in need now seem to be broken down. So you realize that in as much as this girl is in a need, she has nowhere else to go. So the husband of the auntie, who happens to be the breadwinner now, is trying to take advantage over this girl. And it's not the best. Because the girl's right to education, she has a right to education, she has a right to shelter, she has a right to grow up with her parents, she has a right to live a normal social life. And you realize that now that she's going through this sort of abuse, even her stages of development is going to be affected. She'll grow up with a psychological trauma, going through life not believing that she is also worthwhile, as provided by Article 15 of the 1990 Constitution, that the dignity of a person shall be invaluable. So she has a right to dignity. She has a right to also live like a normal child. But it's not her fault that her mother died when she was young. But we know that when it comes to childbirth, it takes two people who give birth. So now that the mother is not there, what happened? What about the father? That's the question we want to ask, because the Constitution provides that a child shall be entitled to the estate of the father, whether she's born wedlock or whatever.
Out of wedlock.
Out of wedlock, yeah. So she has a right to a share of a parent property. The fact that her mother has died doesn't mean she should be exposed to the hardships of the weather. The other issue too is that we don't know whether, because we know in this country we have the matrilineal and then the patrilineal.
Yep.
And so now that she is in this state, what is the family of the father doing, or what do they have to say? What is the family of the mother have to say? Is the auntie the only person in the family who can support her or who can be of help? And if she is also not in a position to provide that kind of necessaries of life, then is there nobody else in the family apart from her husband who is also trying to abuse this girl? So it's a situation that in the first place she couldn't have gone into, but we should still look at available remedies by exploring our options.
Is this something that Suraj wants to take up?
Yeah, if a complaint is lodged with us, we'll take it up, because I remember about a year or two ago, when these children are about to write their BCE, there's something they call camping. So one of these situations happened in Dansuman. The girl was assaulted by the head master then, and a report was made to Dovsu. The child's father felt that Dovsu were not speeding up the issue for them, so they lodged a complaint with the commission. With our intervention, the headmaster has been jailed, as I speak to you, for 15 years. So it is a matter that falls within the human rights mandate of the commission, and we will take it up if we are adequately invoked.
So in this case, is there some sort of punishment for even the auntie who she has complained to severally but is not doing anything about it because probably she wants to save her marriage?
Yes, the Children's Act makes provision for it. I think Section 17 or thereabout of the Children's Act says that if you are aware or you become aware of an incident of child abuse, you are duty bound to report the matter to the Department of Social Welfare.
Yep.
Also, the Criminal Act also makes it possible that if you are become aware of the commission of a crime, you also have to report. So the woman also, there's an onus on her to also, as it were, take an action, and she cannot just throw her hands in the sky and say that I can't do anything about it. So she's equally liable.
You have spoken about how the support system has broken down. We are aware that our social welfare is not up to the standard that we expect. What kind of remedy could be available for this young girl?
In the first place, it has to be reported. And once it is reported, I know Dovsu has laid a link with some shelters. So if a report is made to Dovsu, looking at the exigencies of it, I think they will provide shelter for her. If a report is also made to charge, we can also do a collaboration with Dovsu and provide. Her immediate need is now to take care from the scene, has laid a link with some shelters. So if a report is made to Dovsu, looking at the exigencies of it, I think they will provide shelter for her. If a report is also made to charge, we can also do a collaboration with Dovsu and provide. Her immediate need is now to take care from the scene, be able to get her prepared for her exam.
Yep.
And then afterwards, like Dovsu and provide. Her immediate need is now to take care from the scene, be able to get her prepared for her exam.
Yep.
And then afterwards, like after she has left the house, what becomes of her?
Yep.
At this material moment, I think what we should be also concerned about is how to trace the father of the
child.
Yes.
So
It's very,
that
very into the world. Yeah. It was a decision that was made, whether she came through unwanted pregnancy or whatever. She is among us, and she has to be taken care of.
Godfrey Eboahen, I'm grateful for your time this morning. He is the public education and focal person at the Greater Accra branch of TRAJ. And he says that when a report is made to TRAJ, they will take the matter up. And you heard a number of reliefs that they could give the girl, and also people who could be in trouble because of what is happening to this girl. Let's take a break on Joy News Desk. When we return, there is more.
At times when I go to school, that's the only time.
For crystal clear and thrilling podcasts and live shows, download and listen to us on Apple, Spotify, TuneIn, Google Podcasts, MyJoy Online, Amazon services like Echo, Amazon Music, and Audible, Stitcher, Adom Online, Overcast, and Pandora. Take note of everything. Sign up for the multimedia digital platforms now to stay updated.
We've had news file over the weekend, and an interesting part of the conversation focused.
Oh no, we are out of range.
Oh, don't worry, Daddy. I have Alexa in my bag.
Alex, what?
Alexa, open Multimedia Ghana and play Joy FM.
Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7.
Listen to Joy FM, Hits FM, Love FM, live on your Amazon Echo. Listen to your favorite multimedia radio stations live on your Amazon Echo device by saying, Alexa, open Multimedia Ghana, play Joy FM or Hits FM or Love FM. Or catch up on your favorite podcast by saying, Alexa, play, and then the name of your favorite podcast from Multimedia Ghana. For a list of all podcasts available, say Alexa. Ask Multimedia Ghana to browse programs.
And we are back like we never lost signal.
Alexa, welcome to Multimedia.
Welcome back to the rest of our stories. The National Development Forum being hosted by the Church of Pentecost is to discuss national issues with the likes of former President John Mahama and former President John Agyekum-Kufuor, as well as Speaker of Parliament himself, taking turns to address the gathering. Speaker of Parliament has been justifying his decision to suspend Parliament and participate in the national dialogue organized by the Church of Pentecost. Let's go live now to the event center. Gifty Afenyedazi, former GJA president, is speaking.
And relevant agencies with a view to celebrating achievements and enlisting media advocacy support for outstanding challenges. A systematic tracking by media of the Auditor General's report to the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament and the recommended remedial actions. Apostle Chair, you will agree with me that we see on television year after year what the Auditor General has said about public accounts. I entreat the media, let us follow this up. We are talking about what we can do to push the national developmental agenda. I believe that if we focus on the Public Accounts Committee, the volume of information every day, we can pick something. And I think that it will be a deterrent. And then we also would want to know how much has been recovered. Churches should go beyond general teachings and establish special networking for our politicians and professionals, as the doctor said, where the dangers and effects of corruption shall be continuously highlighted till we see significant changes in the level of corruption. Conclusion. The media has done very well in promoting human rights and public accountability. One area that the media has done well is in the fight against Galamsey menace. The media played its part in raising concerns about the dangers of Galamsey, which threaten our future existence. Subsequent development, Apostle Chairman, have shown that the beneficiaries of Galamsey are very powerful and will not easily give up, irrespective of the danger of our water bodies and environment. I urge media, let us keep up with the pressure, for we need to leave an environment sound for the future generations. Based on what is happening now, we know that the agenda to stop Galamsey shall be treated as a major existential threat that should go beyond the coalition that first highlighted the menace. I believe all media houses should continually highlight the challenges until the menace is brought to a minimum. Already all of us are paying far more for water because of the pollution suffered by our water bodies and the increasing cost to the Ghana Water Company in treating the water for our houses and industries. There are, however, other areas that we need to recognize that we have not done very well. We have to work to improve upon our professional practices as a way of strengthening media accountability. Fortunately, we have certain precedents from the GJ that we can all learn from. Under my leadership at the GJ, and with the support of academia, editors, and senior colleagues, we use consensus building to make progressive interventions with specific guidelines in some national situations, such as elections, conflict reporting, even the national reconciliation. We gathered this consensus and we came out with various guidelines that helped to put the nation at peace. So I believe that what we are doing here today, for the next 2 days, yesterday and today, will yield positive result. Apostle Chairman, I believe this 2 days brainstorming session shall not be in vain. With a common resolve and looking at the caliber of people who have been here, we should be able to use the same route of consensus building to effect the changes we are so passionate we deserve. I believe all participants who have been here should make a personal pledge on behalf of themselves and the institutions they represent to push the moral vision agenda. Beyond the media's direct mandate, there are questions that all distinguished participants gathered here need to reflect on. What motivates our citizens who desire to serve in public office as elected officials or appointees? Which institutions are the most prominent for political socialization, and what value do such institutions place on moral vision? Finally, the question is, what will posterity think about us? We have led the fight for the repeal of criminal libel law, but we have civil laws. Let it not be said that collectively, as a serial caller, or as a political actor, or as a media activist, we colluded to make the media space an agent of underdevelopment. May this conference conscientize us and put in our spirit the vim to press on. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to conclude my presentation with Philippians 4:8, a very favorite scripture of mine, and it reads, "Whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, are of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things." We cannot miss it as a nation if we personalize the above quotation for an individual as well as corporate behavior in our desire to reposition Ghana strongly from a moral vision perspective. We should live here with a renewed sense of commitment to the service of Ghana, to the service of God and country, and a resolve to defend the good name of Ghana. May God help us all. Thank you.
On Wednesday, the speaker shared varied opinions on how the country can return to its glorious days. Listen.
Good character builds trust. Without trust, people will never follow you. And without followers, obviously, one cannot lead. It will be a walk in the park. Therefore, effective leadership requires integrity. As leaders, particularly political leaders, we must be willing to be held accountable for our actions and inactions. We must conduct ourselves in a manner that is beyond the behavior of Pompey's wife.
What happened to our value of being each other's keeper, each his brother's keeper, where communal assistance to each other on our farms and in other tasks that we had to undertake were easily available? What happened to our abhorrence of greed and theft? Why do we celebrate persons who today are wealthy with dubious sources of income, and yet society is not concerned about what the source of income is, and it's only about the person's wealth? Ladies and gentlemen, ethics have a direct impact on national development. And as a student of history, I can say unequivocally that in history, all civilizations that have fallen have done so after they lost their moral and ethical compass.
And we are all here to consider how we deliberate on the development of our nation using moral vision. And as I've said, you don't talk morality without talking humanity. So Pentecostal Church has done well in organizing this huge meeting, and I'm sure the meeting is also being relayed across the nation. I wish you success. So over the next 2 or 3 days of the forum, you come up with ways and means to enable the people generally to contribute to find the way forward towards developing our nation without the biases and, if you like, the unkindness that we tend to display to each other, even as we try to develop our country.
Let's take a break on Joy News Desk, and we'll return. There is more coming your way from the world of business.
Score HD, the new exciting football channel, is now available only on HD Plus and brings you football from around the world. Watch Sadio Mane and Daniel Kifitre in the top weekly match of the Bundesliga 1 and EFB Cup, Primera Liga, Copa de la Liga Profesional, see Ronaldo in the Saudi Pro League, as well as daily sports news every other hour. Also, get updated on Messi and Mbappe on PSG TV and many more. Feely on HD Plus channel 151. Agrona Ede, HD Plus, the Feely experience.
We've had news file over the weekend, and an interesting part of the conversation focused.
Oh no, we are out of range.
Oh, don't worry, Daddy. I have Alexa in my bag.
Alex, what?
Alexa, open Multimedia Ghana and play Joy FM.
Super Hits Radio. Joy 99.7.
Listen to Joy FM, Hits FM, Love FM, live on your Amazon Echo. Listen to your favorite multimedia radio stations live on your Amazon Echo device by saying, Alexa, open Multimedia Ghana, play Joy FM or Hits FM or Love FM. Or catch up on your favorite podcast by saying, Alexa, play, and then the name of your favorite podcast from Multimedia Ghana. For a list of all podcasts available, say Alexa. Ask Multimedia Ghana to browse programs.
And we are back like we never lost signal.
Alexa, welcome to Multimedia.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darrell Kwao, founder of Defunct UT Bank. Prince Kofi Amwabeng is edged.
And inactions. We must conduct ourselves in a manner that is beyond the behavior of Pompey's wife. Pompey's wife.
What happened to our value of being each other's keeper, each his brother's keeper, where communal assistance to each other on our farms and in other tasks that we had to undertake were easily available? What happened to our abhorrence of greed and theft? Why do we celebrate persons who today are wealthy with dubious sources of income, and yet society is not concerned about what the source of income is, and it's only about the person's wealth? Ladies and gentlemen, ethics have a direct impact on national development. And as a student of history, I can say unequivocally that in history, all civilizations that have fallen have done so after they lost their moral and ethical compass.
And we are all here to consider how we deliberate on the development of our nation using moral vision. And as I've said, you don't talk morality without talking humanity. So Pentecostal Church has done well in organizing this huge meeting, and I'm sure the meeting is also being relayed across the nation. I wish you success. So over the next 2 or 3 days of the forum, you come up with ways and means to enable the people generally to contribute to find the way forward towards developing our nation without the biases and, if you like, the unkindness that we tend to display to each other, even as we try to develop our country.
Let's take a break on Joy News Desk. When we return, there is more coming your way from the world of business.
Huge meeting, and I'm sure the meeting is also being relayed across the nation. I wish you success. So over the next 2 or 3 days of the forum, you come up with ways and means to enable the people generally to contribute to find the way forward towards developing our nation without the biases and, if you like, the unkindness that we tend to display to each other, even as we try to develop our country.
Let's take a break on Joy News Desk. When we return, there is more coming your way from the world of business.
Score HD, the new exciting football channel, is now available only on HD Plus and brings you football from around the world. Watch Sadio Mane and Daniel Kifitre in the top weekly match of the Bundesliga 1 and DFB Cup, Primera Liga, Copa de la Liga Profesional.
Without the biases and, if you like, the unkindness that we tend to display to each other, even as we try to develop our country.
Let's take a break on Joy News Desk. When we return, there is more coming your way from the world of business.
To develop our country.
Let's take a break on Joy News Desk. When we return, there is more coming your way from the world of business.
Score HD, the new exciting football channel, is now available only on HD Plus and brings you football from around the world. Watch Sadio Mane and Daniel Kufitре in the top weekly match of the Bundesliga 1 and DFB Cup, Primera Liga, Copa de la Liga Profesional, see Ronaldo in the Saudi Pro League, as well as daily sports news every other hour. Also, get updated on Messi and Mbappe on PSG TV and many more. Feely on HD Plus channel 151. Agrona Ede, HD Plus, the Feely experience.
We've had news file over the weekend, and an interesting part of the conversation focused.
Oh no, we are out of range.
Oh, don't worry, Daddy. I have Alexa in my bag.
Alex, what?
Alexa, open Multimedia Ghana and play Joy FM.
Super Hits Radio. Joy 99.7.
Listen to Joy FM, Hits FM, Love FM, live on your Amazon Echo. Listen to your favorite multimedia radio stations live on your Amazon Echo device by saying, Alexa, open Multimedia Ghana, play Joy FM or Hits FM or Love FM. Or catch up on your favorite podcast by saying, Alexa, play, and then the name of your favorite podcast from Multimedia Ghana. For a list of all podcasts available, say Alexa. Ask Multimedia Ghana to browse programs.
And we are back like we never lost signal.
Alexa, welcome to Multimedia.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darrell Kwao. Founder of defunct UT Bank, Prince Kofi Amwabeng, is urging businesses to be innovative and adaptive to changes happening in the economy. Is Darrell Kwao. Founder of defunct UT Bank, Prince Kofi Amwabeng, is urging businesses to be innovative and adaptive to changes happening in the economy.
Indigenous firm offering tailored information technology solutions.
Interests of the workers are aligned to the interests of the company.
Chief Executive of Fair Green Limited, Gifty Boyan, added that the company will continue to improve on the technological solutions offered to its clients in the coming years.
We're in the technology space and everybody knows how technology is moving so fast. So for us, our aim is to learn to keep up so that we continue to stay relevant. The way we weather the storm of competition is, being aware of what's going on and really listening to our customers. So if you listen carefully to your customers and you are able to define what their pain points are, what their requirements and the solutions that is required, you are able to, if of course you have educated yourself and kept abreast with the trends in technology, you are able to put a solution together that, takes care of their difficulties and their pain points.
The company was urged to ensure the growth and development of its staff to sustain the business.
Now, government's technical and vocational education and training initiative should be more practical to support the creation of jobs. This is according to President of the Kimbo Old Students Association, Engineer Joseph Odey. He says the initiative should be designed to contribute to the development of a productive workforce by the Students Association, Engineer Joseph Odey. He says the initiative should be designed to contribute to the development of a productive workforce by the High Technical School.
The school said its historic milestone represents the educational excellence for most corporate institutions.
From this time going, the board will ensure that the staff of this school focus on this so that all children or all learners who have the opportunity of coming to this school, we expect that their competencies will be so that all children or all learners who have the opportunity of coming to this school, we expect that their competencies will be
better. We are pleading.
And sponsored by Elegant Homes and General Construction Limited, where quality meets value. Syntex tanks, a strong, a tough. EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. Affordability, comfort, or luxury.